Imagine being minutes away from Singapore's fastest growing innovation district, no long MRT rides, no traffic jams, having just work, life and everything in between right at your doorstep. This is the promise of Hudson Place Residence. But is it really worth the money? Let's find out. Hey everyone, welcome back. So if you're currently looking at new launches in Singapore right now, I think Hudson Place Residence is something that will be familiar to you. Okay, so today we will be going through a full breakdown of this project, the location, the connectivity and also the price analysis. So by the end of this video, you will actually know whether this project is something that makes sense for you. So whether you're buying for own stay or investment, let's get into it. Okay, so before I dive in, I just really want to give a shout out. It takes a lot of effort for me to actually research and also create this video. So if you can, I would appreciate if you can like, subscribe to my channel, or even share this video to someone that you find that will be interested. Okay, so let me just give you some quick facts of Hudson Place Residence. So it is actually located at Media Circle within the 1 North precinct along within District 5 itself. Okay, so developer-wise, it's actually a joint venture between a few developers, mainly Tenure, 4C Holdings and also Hudson Holding. So Tenure, I think probably a lot of you would have already recognized this developer. They actually done out quite a few popular projects like, The Quest, Forex Bukit Timah, and even Jadescape. Okay, so and finally, in terms of the land cost, this joint venture actually paid about 350 million in total for this plot of land. So in terms of per square feet per plot ratio, we are looking at about $1,037 for this plot. And I think in terms of this land cost, this is actually an anchor when we actually look at the pricing discussion later. So just have to keep in mind this number. So next, let's just zoom into the location itself. Okay, so where exactly is Hudson Place and why is it so important in terms of the locality? So this Hudson Place actually sits within the 1 North precinct, and if you are not familiar, 1 North is actually Singapore's designated innovation and technology hub. It's actually home to Fusionopolis, Mediapolis, Biopolis, and even our science park as well. And this is where actually our biomedical researchers, our tech professionals, and media companies are at. And I think ultimately these are the people who will actually form your rental demand pool. Okay, so Hudson Place being part of the 1 North precinct is also part of this latest URA master plan to bring work, living, learning, and also leisure together in this greater 1 North. Yeah, so this is definitely not a traditional residential estate. Of course, there is no organic HDB upgraders, but of course, I think the value of Hudson Place is really the professionals that's working in this area, and actually it's a strength if you actually would to understand it correctly. Okay, next, in terms of connectivity, I just want to be very upfront. The nearest MRT station, 1 North MRT, is definitely not right at our doorstep. In terms of walking distance, we're looking at 12 to 15 minutes. But of course, it's still a walkable distance. But once you get to the MRT station, we get very good accessibility to the rest of Singapore. Take for example, Buona Vista is just one stop from 1 North MRT along the Circle Line, which also brings you to the East-West Line. For drivers, I think you'll be very happy to know that AYE is just within minutes drive away. And if you're looking at amenities, we are just within 10 minutes drive to the Holland Village area and even Orchard. And Vivo City and Clementi, Jurong East itself, they are all within 20 minutes drive away. So one more thing that I just want to highlight as well, there's actually a feasibility studies in a possible West Coast extension from the Tenure line, which could potentially introduce an additional MRT station within this area. So this for people who are looking at potential improvement in connectivity, this is something that you may want to take note of. Next, in terms of price, what are we exactly looking at price-wise? So of course, the official price list hasn't dropped at the point of filming this video, but these are just indicative estimates that we will actually be able to work on based on the land price. Of course, once the developer actually launches the official price, we will actually update the description. So based on the land cost of 315 million for this site, in terms of per square feet per plot ratio, we're looking at $1,037. So from this land cost, we can actually back calculate a rough sense of where the launch prices will be around. So in Singapore, developers usually price their launch at around 2.3 to 2.5 times of their land cost per plot ratio. So that is actually to cover the construction, the financial costs, marketing, of course, their profit margin as well. So if we were to take this multiplier and multiply it by 1037, we are looking at around 2005 to 2007 per square feet, taking into account of the RCR region as well. Because I just want to stress that this is just an estimate and may also just be my wishful thinking, but hopefully once they actually have the official price, we'll actually share them with you. Okay, to determine whether this is actually a reasonable price, I think definitely we have to look at what the comparable projects that is transacting currently in the resale market, and also of course our new launches as well. So zooming into the nearby resale properties, we have One North Eden over here, which actually TOP in 2024, just a few years ago. So in terms of past 2 years transaction, we are actually looking at about average of 2,358 per square feet. Yeah, the highest we're looking at 2,477 per square feet. So for our One North Eden itself is actually a pre-harmonized project, and our Hudson Place is actually a post-harmonized project. So in terms of pricing per square feet, to give a fair comparison, you definitely have to actually factor in the difference in terms of harmonization. So One North Eden, after factoring harmonization, we are looking at prices of almost 2,005 per square feet to 2,006 per square feet. This is the price that we are looking at today, not factoring in the difference in the lease as well. So next, if we were to look at the nearby new homes prices, I have actually picked out Blossoms by the Park and Bloomsbury Residence. So Blossoms by the Park itself is actually located near Buona Vista MRT. It actually launched in 2023, and this is actually a pre-harmonization project. So of course, pricing wise, on average, we are looking about 2,500 per square feet, and with the factor in harmonization, we are looking at about 2,550 per square feet. The highest per square feet is 2,673, and to actually factor in harmonization, they have already transacted at highs of 2,008 per square feet. And if we were to look at Bloomsbury Residence, which is our neighbor just next door, they launched in 2025, and it's also a post-harmonization project. So in terms of average per square feet, we're looking at 2,005, and highest already transacted at 2,007 and 6. So if you have to look at our neighbor, Bloomsbury Residence, which was launched in 2025, just last year, it's also a post-harmonization project, and in terms of average per square feet, they are already transacting about 2,005 and highest about 2,007. So today, if we were to look at in terms of pricing, I think if Hudson Place is really launching at 2,005, I think that is definitely a very, very attractive pricing. And lastly, I just wanted to highlight something that puts Hudson Place pricing into a whole new light. So basically, if you want to understand where the One North corridor is actually heading, this is something that you will need to know. So the latest GRS land bid at Dover Drive just came in, and it actually transacted at about 1,556 per square feet per plot ratio. So if we were to compare to Hudson Place land price today, there's a gap of about $519 per square feet per plot ratio. So essentially about 50% more expensive than our plot at Hudson Place today. So if we were to apply the same developer multiplier logic to this new plot at Dover Drive, we are definitely looking at launch pricing that's close to 3,000 per square feet or even more in the future, likely 1 year down the road. Okay, so with this, we actually can understand how this whole area will actually move towards in terms of pricing. And today, if you were to enter Hudson Place at around 2,005 to even 2,700 per square feet, I think this is definitely an underpriced value compared to where this area is actually heading to. So of course, land price itself is not the most accurate representation of how much the launch price is going to be at, but I think this is the best estimate that we can have at this point of time. So most importantly, we know the direction of this whole market in the RCR region and in this area. So typically, I think as early buyers into Hudson Place, I think this could be a very, very good price gap, that advantage that you may have if you were to actually enter today. Okay, final verdict, should you buy this project, and who are the buyers that should consider this project? So I think firstly, investors who are looking at rental yield. So due to the pricing and also of course the rental demand that we have this area, investors who are looking to buy and just hold and just get rental, I think this can be a project that you can definitely consider. And also with your tenant pool being tech professionals, I think this can give you a very, very good rental yield. So next will be our own stay buyers who are actually working in the area, and people who actually hate commuting to work, going through traffic jams, long MRT rides. I think this is definitely something that you can consider if you are someone who's working in the one-off precinct. And lastly, I think upgraders who wants a city fringe value. I think definitely upgraders who are looking at the RCR region, looking to find somewhere that's closer to town area, closer to all amenities in the south area. I think this is something that you can consider. But of course, definitely I think something to take note is you must be okay with the distance to the LRT station. Okay, so that marks the end of my analysis. So if you're a buyer that's looking at this project and you want more information, do feel free to reach out. My contact information is over here. If not, if you want my analysis on any other projects, you can feel free to reach out as well. And lastly, if you like my video, subscribe to my channel for any future analysis, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!